What's up, guys? We are back with another Marvel Legends review, taking a look at another entry in the Age of Apocalypse Sugar Man wave. We've got X-Man himself, Nate Gray, on deck today. We got him here, of course, in our standard Legends packaging. Figure in the window, you've got the X-Men logo down there on the bottom. Some really fantastic artwork of Apocalypse and X-Man on the side, and in the back of the box has a little bit of a write-up, cross-sell for the wave, and then a product shot of the figure itself. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Nate Gray, our X-Man figure. And this guy is pretty interesting, if maybe not a little on the unremarkable side as far as this overall wave goes for me personally. There's just some odd stuff going on here in some ways. So let's see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. He's not exactly familiar territory as far as the body goes and the parts usage, but he's still really standard as far as a Legends figure goes. So he looks up all the way. He looks down all the way. You do have a little tilt action on that head. You've got full rotation, of course. Arms go out at the shoulders. They rotate all the way around. There is no butterfly joint in there. You do have a bicep cut. You've got your double jointed elbows. We've got hinges and rotation at the wrist. This one works a little bit better than the fist one just because it just seems like it's wanting to restrict him because he's got these big cuffs, but it's not really too bad. So don't take that to be a big negative. You've got a jacket over the torso, which does get in the way of the ab crunch, but you just have to move it out of the way. So he goes down about that far. He goes back really good, but you have this massive gap in his chest. I mean, I can stick a finger in there. And then you've got full rotation at that waist cut. He is a little on the bobbly side, though. It doesn't really do anything, but like he's not actually in a detent right there, so he will kind of swivel back and forth unnecessarily. Legs go out about that far. They kick forward pretty much all the way, backwards a little bit. You've got your thigh cut there. We've got double jointed knees. You've got your boot cut, and then you've got rocker, and you've got hinges down at those ankles, all that good stuff. So pretty much standard Marvel Legends, Bucky cap kind of legs from the waist down. The rest of the body, though, is a little bit different, while at the same time still very much being normal Marvel Legends. The only weird thing really on the articulation side is that crazy cut in that gap there, and then a little bit of bobble action he has going on, but it doesn't really stop or hinder the figure from doing what he's doing. As far as the overall aesthetics on this guy, I am overwhelmingly quite happy with the way he looks, except for one thing that definitely kind of sets him back a little bit, which we will get to. So for the most part, this figure is just a blue body with some paint accents, but they are, for the most part, pretty solid. So you've got the yellow stripes on the wrist and on the thighs. You've got the yellow on the knee pads, but they're yellow, and then the actual blue part is painted there. And then you've got yellow on the crotch. And the blue and the yellow contrast really well. I mean, it's obviously a very X-Men thing, so of course it's an X-Man thing, and it's just really clean for the most part. I don't really have too much issue in terms of bleeding, except for on the frills of the jacket. And I don't know if it's supposed to be intentional or not, because it's quite consistent in its inconsistency, if that makes sense. Otherwise, though, the rest of the figure is mostly just cast in this kind of navy blue plastic. But I do like the overall size of the figure. I think he looks really good as far as just the overall body structure. He does have a little bit of a broader chest than normal, at least for a figure that might be on the Bucky cap style body. He's not exactly, but just in terms of a normal figure, he does seem to be a little bit bulkier, which is kind of how he was portrayed a lot, just based on various art styles, and have a little bit more of a heft to him because of the jacket. So it makes him look a little bit bulkier, gives him a little bit of a broader set of shoulders, which works really well. And I just like the color scheme, and I like this look for him. This is, when I think of X-Man, this is what I think of. I think of this particular version. There's not a great deal to go into detail on here because, I mean, frankly, it's a guy in a blue bodysuit with a blue jacket on with some yellow accents. Where my real interest lied for this particular figure, and where I'm kind of let down in some ways for reasons I can't really understand, is the head sculpt. And I'd say right off the bat, the main reason why I feel kind of let down by this head sculpt is that I don't really think it looks like him. I think it very much looks kind of like some angry old man, and that's not X-Man. He shouldn't look old, and he looks really old to me. Something about this head sculpt looks really grizzled and just like kind of middle-aged almost. It certainly doesn't seem like it fits him to me. The haircut, the hairstyle, and the paint on it definitely works. Just that overall kind of, buzz cut with the longer hair on top and then the gray stripe on the front. I think that looks really good, but the face sculpt, it just seems off to me. I need to go through, I guess, some more examples of different kind of artwork for this character, but when I think of him, this doesn't really look like it to me. The general idea is there, but some of those features, he just looks really old with how the shadows are cast based on some of these cuts in his face, like around the mouth and then around the nose. Of course, the big thing that I really like the most out of this, though, if there's one redeeming factor, is the telekinetic effect that's popping out of his eye. I really dig that. You know, I like it on the Cable figure that we got not too long ago, so I'm glad they gave it to this figure as well, and it's got some nice yellow and orange highlights on there. It's really big too, honestly. It really juts out of the side of his head. So I do like that, but I can't help but think that the face sculpt is kind of off. So there's really not a lot more to say here, I suppose, because, well, this is a what you see is what you get kind of figure. He doesn't have any accessories. For the most part, I think he looks pretty good. The body is nicely done. I think it's proportioned pretty well, and the colors really pop. I'm a big fan of the yellow and blue when it comes to X-Men stuff, and of course it works really well here as well. I do think that there are a few stumbling points for this figure, though. The gap in the torso and the shakiness at that waist joint is definitely something to take into consideration, but the big thing for me is just the fact that the face, the head sculpt doesn't necessarily look like him. Something is lost there for me when it comes to him looking slightly old almost and just a little bit too grizzled. I do like the energy effect popping out. I do like the paint in the hair though. So it's not an entirely bad situation. I just think it could have been a little bit better. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Sugarman Wave X-Man figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.